So good evening everyone, welcome to this special episode of Quiztatorship. Tonight I'll be going through some of my favorite questions I've asked during our Sunday quizzes. And I've got Jana here, who will endeavor to figure out the answers. Complete the following quote by Mark Twain. "There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist except blank."
Sad optimist.
What? How? No. Try again. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist except...
Old optimist.
Yeah. In Fantasia. You know, the Disney movie. In Fantasia. Who is the character Yen Sid inspired by? And once again, what if I told you that there's a gigantic clue in the question? Yen Sid. Who is the character Yen Sid inspired by? Spelled Y-E-N-S-I-D. So it's a Disney movie, right? Who is the character Yen Sid inspired by? And Yen Sid, if you read it in reverse,
Disney.
you get Disney. On what occasion do you get 11 million Swedish krona?
If you win a Swedish lottery.
Nope. So clearly it's a prize, right? And it's Swedish.
Oh my god, Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize.
Okay, I see.
There is a rise in domestic violence of up to 50% when what kind of event is broadcast on TV?
Football?
Football, exactly, like it's pretty obvious, right? I'm not sure why I like the question so much, but I guess because I'm not much of a fan of football. Sorry, football fans. What is dihydrogen monoxide? What is dihydrogen monoxide?
Water?
Yeah, bravo. What occasion was the first ever Fabergé egg made on?
It was a gift to Sar family. It was a gift, Christmas present.
Almost. Not quite.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it wasn't Nicholas, it was Alexander III.
Alexander III, sorry, okay.
Yes.
His wife? He gave it to his wife.
So yes, it was commissioned by Alexander III for his wife, Empress Maria, but it wasn't a Christmas gift. It was meant as an Easter egg. It was an Easter gift. If it was an egg. Now, I've mentioned before that some Chinese words are comprised of individual characters. For example, a word for taxi driver consists of the characters for take, convenience, and driver. And a computer in Chinese is literally an electric brain. Now, the Chinese word for chameleon consists of 3 characters. Can you figure out what those characters are?
Laser change color?
Yeah, basically you got it. So the first one is change, the second one is color, and the third one is dragon. Now, in the past, some people believed that epidemics were due to the influence of the stars. The name of what disease originates from that belief? And again, there is a clue in the question. There is one word that is a giveaway.
Like?
No? Due to the influence of the stars. How do you think you say influence in Latin? Influence in Latin is influenza. After the Second World War, when Britain hadn't recovered from the war yet and resources had to be used carefully, Winston Churchill wrote a letter to Robert Boothby, who was the parliamentary secretary to the Ministry of Food, and asked him not to save barley for making what product? Remember, this is Winston Churchill that we're talking about. What do you know about Winston Churchill? What product was very dear to Winston Churchill's heart that he would consume every day?
Alcohol.
What kind of alcohol?
Whiskey?
Yeah, exactly. So because of course it helps to know that Churchill did enjoy an occasional drink. And when I say occasional, I mean he would have a bit of whiskey in the morning and then work his way up. He once said that too much of anything is bad, but too much good whiskey is barely enough. Right, next question. What did Stephen King call the biggest keyhole in the history of mankind? Did I tell you about this or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I told you. But basically the question is courtesy of my mom, and I'm proud to say that I figured out the answer quite quickly, and I was really surprised that when I did it during one of the games, nobody knew it, because it's actually logical, right? Because it lets you observe other people's lives more than any other keyhole in the world. So I'm going to show you a Chinese word. And you need to tell me what that Chinese word means. I'm going to give you a clue. The meaning of the individual characters are not going to help you. Do you have any idea what that word could mean?
Amphetamine.
Did you mean to say amphetamine?
Amphetamine,
Yes. Well done, bravo. You got it. What kind of clothing would ninjas wear?
Black clothing.
No, not black clothing, no.
Well, ninjas would wear the clothing that was typical for that period. They would disguise as normal people.
Very good, yeah. Because the big thing about ninjas is that they wanted to remain unnoticed, so they would just wear regular plain clothing. Well done. There was this artist who recalled that he had been out for a walk at sunset when suddenly the setting sun's light turned the clouds a blood red, and he sensed an infinite scream passing through nature. So naturally he turned the experience into a painting. What was the artist's name?
It's not Klimt.
Klimt? Gustav Klimt? No. Do you know the painting?
Yes, I vividly.
What's the name of the painting? Scream. Okay, so you identified the painting. His name was Edward Munch.
Oh.
You figured out what the painting in question was. That's fine. Now the other day I saw something on Facebook, and a woman was talking about her son, who had told her that he wanted to watch the cheese in water on TV, and it took her a while to realize what he meant. Now the question is, what show was the boy referring to?
Cheese in water?
Cheese in water. If you imagine cheese, if you literally imagine cheese in water, what show could that be?
Bob SquarePants?
Bob SquarePants.
I don't know what's his
SpongeBob
name.
SquarePants. Okay. Okay, that's close enough. Close enough. On the 31st of December, 1879, the day Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirates of Penzance was to have its world premiere. Arthur Sullivan, the composer, was still working on the score. All the songs had already been completed and rehearsed, and yet he hadn't managed to write one crucial part of the opera. What was the part in question?
Major General?
No, well, as I said, all songs had already been completed and rehearsed. So the question is, what part of the opera was still unfinished?
Overture?
Yeah, exactly, the overture, because, well, of course one does need to know that an opera or an operetta always starts with an overture, right? But provided that one does know that, the answer should be quite easy, because if you deduct all the songs, right, the overture is pretty much the only thing that's left. What series of graphic novels, and also the movies based on them, takes place in Basin City?
Basin City?
Yeah.
I'm guessing just... Is it Sin... no, not really.
What?
Basin City.
No, say it. Say whatever.
Sin City?
Sin City, of course, because again, it's the clue is right there. The answer is right in the answer is in the question. You just need to find it, and you found it. Well done. Now I've got a question about Jr Tolkin. And so there was a man that Tolkien wasn't very fond of. And the reason Tolkien wasn't very fond of him was because of that man's oversimplified way of telling popular stories. Who was the man in question?
Hans Hans Christian Andersen?
Nope, nope.
Okay, hold on. Don't tell me that it was Disney.
Bingo. Disney, yes. Well done. The Romanian composer and conductor Sergio once said, "You simply cannot press magic into a pancake." The question is, what was he protesting against? What was it that he disliked so much?
Introducing vinyl?
Vinyl, yes.
Vinyl.
Bingo! What is the one thing that looks like a pancake and has something to do with music? Obviously, it's vinyl. Now, you know how you wake up in the morning after exercising and your whole body is aching, right? Now, the question is, in Germany, what do they literally call this kind of muscle ache? So when you wake up after exercising and you have pain in the morning, in Germany, what do they call this kind of muscle ache literally? No, not sports pain. So when you wake up, right, in the morning and you have pain.
Morning pains.
No, that's not. That's not. Morning pain. No. No, they call it, in Germany, you call it Muskelkater, which literally means muscle hangover.
Oh my god, no, wouldn't get that. Yeah.
It's okay. Nobody got it, to be honest. Right, let's continue. What company was established in 1986 by a lady called Jenny Merl, together with her husband Jerry and their sons Jim, Matt, Chad and Ben? And here as well you have a giant clue hidden in the question, you just need to find it. What company was established in 1986? Thank you for that. Are you okay? What company was established in 1986 by a lady called Jenny Merl, together with her husband Jerry and their 4 sons, Jim, Matt, Chad and Ben?
Production company?
No. It's a restaurant.
Sorry?
A restaurant, a certain restaurant chain. Actually, let me just tell you that the names are not going to help you. Because
Guys?
yeah, 5 guys, because I remember when I asked the question, one of the teams said Ben and Jerry. And okay, that makes sense because husband's name is Jerry and one of the sons is called Ben, but so one team, they said Ben and Jerry, and then it was Team B's turn, and they'd been discussing for like 2.5 minutes and the time was almost over. And then one lady went, so it was 1 woman and 5 men. And then once she'd said that, somebody else went, oh, it must be 5 guys. Who said, or rather wrote, the following: Alfred Noble, pitiable half-creature, should have been stifled.
Noble himself?
Noble himself, because he felt so guilty about inventing dynamite. And yeah, it seems like an unfair question, because yeah, how you're supposed to know, right? But then my questions are always fair. So if you feel like you don't know the answer is probably hidden somewhere in the question. The name of what Japanese organization translates as good for nothing?
Yakuza?
Yakuza, yeah.
Yakuza.
Because honestly, how many Japanese organizations does one know except, electronics companies? Next question. What street did Victor Ugo, the author of Les Miserables, live on?
Victor Ugo Street.
That is correct. Did you know or did you guess?
Guessed.
Now
it's called Victor Ugo Street.
No, during his lifetime it was called Victor Hugo Street. So when he would receive letters, they would be addressed to Monsieur Victor Hugo at his own avenue. This is another one of those questions that seem really unfair until you realize that it's not. What is the little Venice that is 49 times larger than the actual city of Venice?
Is it in London?
No, it's not in London. It's very far away from London.
In America?
No.
No.
Yes and no.
Isn't it part of Asia? Asia, China.
No, it's not in Asia. It is in America, but it's not in the United States.
So it might be actually in South America.
Okay, so where in South America?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. It literally means Little Venice. I forget the guy's name, but basically when he arrived in Venezuela, before it was called Venezuela, he kind of looked around and the surroundings reminded him of Venice. Now, Jacques Offenbach. You know Offenbach, obviously. So Jacques Offenbach was a composer of German Jewish descent who had moved to Paris as a young man. And so he is widely considered the father of the operetta genre. He wrote dozens of comic operas back in the 1860s and 70s. And for years he had a feud with another famous composer because both their music and their personalities were so different. And the question is, who was that composer that he had that feud with? And I realized this is a pretty difficult one.
Gilbert?
No, not Gilbert. No, Gilbert wasn't a composer. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so who was the composer whose music was not at all like Offenbach's? So whose music was kind of heavy and very sort of Germanic and patriotic? Beethoven? No, Beethoven. Bach? No, Bach lived before that. And Beethoven, he died before Offenbach was even a thing.
Oh my god, don't tell me that it was Wagner.
It was Wagner, of course.
Oh
And also, again, there is a clue in the question because I said he was of German Jewish descent. So clearly it was Wagner. Next question. Back in 1994, Star Trek Generations became the first movie to be promoted in what way? The time period provides a substantial clue. What was still in its infancy in 1994?
It was not somehow connected to internet.
Yep.
It was?
Yep.
It was trailer made online on internet?
Well, not so much. Obviously, yeah. Also, the trailer was released online, but it was the first movie to have its own website.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question about the music industry. 51.5% of blank die a violent death. You need to fill in the blank.
In music industry?
Yeah, so it's about the music industry. Rappers / hip hoppers, yeah, because that's their lifestyle. Nature never has straight lines was the motto of what famous architect? Gaudi, yeah. Very good. Now the question is easier, obviously, if you've been to Barcelona. But honestly, how many architects does one know? How many famous architects does one know? Not many. Next one. What is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, commonly known as? Once again, the answer is hidden in the question. No. Now, once again, the answer is actually hidden in the question. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser. Next one. Mike Leigh's comedic drama Topsy Turvy is set in a late Victorian period and tells the story of how Gilbert and Sullivan created their most famous opera, The Mikado. A big part of the movie is dedicated to the rehearsals, and most of the characters are actors. The film went on to win 2 Oscars. Can you guess in which categories?
Costumes?
Costume design was one of them, yes.
Music?
No, not music. Music is not original, music is just Gilbert and Sullivan.
Costumes. Design?
You mean production design.
Production design.
Good try, but no.
Makeup?
Makeup, yes.
Okay.
Why was it not advisable for a gladiator to be built anything like Russell Crowe when he was filming Gladiator, but very much like like Russell Crowe looks now?
Because if they were fat, the fat would protect them from this tissue that would prevent them from being mortally wounded.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. You still remember it from our guided walk in Rome, no?
I read it.
Okay, yeah, so basically a gladiator had to be a bit on the chubby side because it would protect you against sword injuries. Where did Czech composer Antonín Dvořák write his New World Symphony?
In America.
In America, okay, in the United States, so you knew this one. Alright.